Hey guys, it's Samantha, and today I'm going to do something a little different. Instead of doing like facts about me or clothing hauls or whatever else I've done on this channel, I am going to share with you some things that I think a lot of people should know. A lot of people have anxiety. It's mostly caused by stress or by fears. Or if they're just anxious about something. I think anxious is like another weird word. Way anxious is when you feel kind of worried. But it's more than worried. Like you're so worried about it you can't stop thinking about it. And there is a lot of people that have anxiety, and I think so every once in a while they have anxiety attacks. It varies the frequency, as in how often it happens, varies on how high it is, or how bad you have it, and how high that specific that specific anxiety level is. And it also varies what things set them off. Like it could be just like parents fighting, or best friend and her brother fighting, him or her brother fighting, or sister. I mean, it just depends. I know for me personally, there's only a few things that I have really high anxiety about. So I try to stay within those possible, but sometimes you just can't help it. You have to be on the situation, whether it's because you're with mom and dad, or it's because you just fall into that situation. And not a lot of people know what to do to people who have anxiety attacks. So I'm going to share with you some signs that of how to tell if they're having an anxiety attack, and how to, or we're going to start one, or how to and how to and what to do in that situation. So the first thing is how to tell if they're going to have one, or if they're starting to have one. If people are looking at, if they feel like they aren't, if they kind of have that look on their face, they feel like they're unsafe in that situation. They might have this like scared mindset in their head. That that's their brain telling them, I think you should get out of there. It's probably not safe for you to be there mentally. Um, like, and how to tell that, like, as a different person, they kind of, usually people, the person will stand, or just, not harder than I thought, because I thought I could explain this. Um, people will try, people will, they'll usually be staying off in space sometimes, or they kind of won't really talk to nobody because they don't feel like they can. Because like I said previously, they feel like they're unsafe, or they feel like they are, or they just kind of have the sense that it's not good for them to be there. A sure sign that they are going to have one is if you look down at their hand will shake, kind of like this. Or you'll see, or if they're sitting down, you'll see someone bouncing their leg, or you may see them trying to fidget with something. That means that they're anxious about something, and they might have an anxiety attack, but if they can calm themselves before then that'd be great. But one sign that that's starting would be definitely their hand shaking. They're sitting down, leg bouncing. Sometimes people play with their hair. Personally, my hand either shakes or if I'm sitting down, my leg bounces. It just varies from person to person, but those are most of the signs that I've seen and that I've experienced. Mostly, I think most people would try to fidget with something, like whether it be a pen or a pencil or their glasses or their hair. They just try to fidget with something because they're trying to keep their mind off of whatever it is that is causing them that stress and anxiety. They're trying to calm themselves down. If they just got done having one, they're trying to recover. They might be looking down at the floor, or they might be looking at their phone. It's not because they're trying to look up something or be on social media. It is sometimes the case is they're trying to focus on one specific platform or screen or object to kind of stop their head from spinning, because after you have an anxiety attack, your head is spinning, and your head spins for a little while, and and your body's still trying to recover. So they'll still look like they're kind of scared of everything. If you see someone like looking at their phone or something, yes, they may be like trying to look up something or something like that, but that's not always the case. So the best thing to do is just try to walk around them. If you do, however, like accidentally bump into them, they will most likely not look at you. Sometimes they might look at you and say you're sorry, and they'll say that they're sorry, even though it's your fault for bumping into them. In that instance, you say, no, it's my bad. I bumped into you. And that's just something I'm working on. And then but you can't say, like, you can't just let that go, because then they'll still think it's their fault that they bumped into you. And they'll wonder if you're mad at you now for doing that, or whatever the case may be. My hands are dirty. I just got them away. So just reassure them that it was your fault for bumping into them. If it's someone close to you that's having it, just kind of, the best thing to do is just leave them alone. if they can handle it on their own, leave them alone for about 10, maybe 15 minutes. After that, maybe ask if they need something. Because not a lot of people like ask for something when they're having an anxiety attack or a panic attack. Which those two are very different things, but it's kind of the same concept. In the same situation, it's still an attack, so their mind still doesn't really know what's going on, and neither do you when you first have one. If you're talking to someone and then somebody and then you ask them to do the simplest thing, like go ask your parent for something, or whether it be go ask the front desk for something, and they just automatically freeze up and they freeze up and they feel like they can't really move. That means that their body's in shock, because that'd be the first anxiety attack that they've ever had. It means they didn't know they had it until then. Now their parents may have warned them that they were gonna have it, but they don't really know when. You don't really know when they're gonna happen. I've had about 4 or 5 since I found out I had anxiety. And you can't, like, they know when it's going to happen, but unless they can find a safe place or listen to music or something before it actually happens, their body is still going to be surprised. And so that's basically all I can really tell you about that anxiety. Things to make sure you really do is, if they're close to you, ask them if they're okay. Like, ask them what's going on. If they say they don't know and they're breathing heavy, and like I said, their hands are shaking or their legs bouncing or playing with the hair a lot, that usually means that they're having an anxiety attack and they don't know yet. The best thing to do in that situation is just to get them away from the place as far as possible. Let them cool down. Like, if you're in a restaurant, have them go outside and get some fresh air to calm themselves down. If you're at a park, and there's really loud music, or there's a lot of people that are yelling, and again, this only applies to when your friends. Don't go up to a stranger and say, "Hey, do you want to get out of here?" That's just weird. They'll just look at you like you're crazy and probably run away from you. But if it is a friend of yours, just say, "Hey, do you want to do something else? Do you want to hang at your house? Do you want to run a movie?" Just anything that can get them away from that situation would be ideal, because they don't know what to do. They're not going to tell you themselves that they need to get out of the situation. some people will, and then some people will try to talk through it. My my friend Laura, um, right now going through tough patch, but when we weren't, she had a birthday party. She's in a lot of my videos. My one before this, the clothing haul, she's in there. She's in my very first video. She's in a lot of my videos. I even posted some of her softball games. She's really good at softball. I saw her play games, and she is really good. Sorry, I have that in my eyes. She's really good. She she loves it, but every time the season's over, she's glad because it does get exhausting. Like most sports, it gets exhausting. But anyway, besides the story, they were we she was going. I was going to do her birthday party, her and her brother's birthday party, and I went, and it was a mud bog. You don't know what mud bog is? Basically, you have this big pit of mud, and trucks will drive through it and try to get stuck in it or try to do burnouts in it, whatever they want to do in it, basically. And you can dance in it, or you can roll around in it. You can ride back in trucks, and you'll get money that way. But anyways, it was my first mud bog I went to, and there was a lot of people there. There was about 200 to 300 people there, and I went to and I stayed there for about a half hour, and about a half hour, maybe 20 minutes. I'm not sure exactly how long I stayed there. Um, um, and because and then I started getting this feeling that something wasn't right, like that I wasn't safe or something wasn't right. Something didn't feel right. So I went up to my friend's to Laura's dad's truck, and called my dad, and as soon as I called him, I started breathing heavy, and I started crying on the phone and that's when I knew I was having an anxiety attack. I wasn't having an anxiety attack because of all the mud and all of the trucks or the loud noises. It was because there was a lot of people that I didn't know there. I only knew about 3 or 4 people there. Laura, her brother's friend, and her dad. I only knew those 4 people there. I'm sure if I was there longer, I could have met more people. Some other friends did show up after I left the party. But I just couldn't handle it there. And that might be the cases for a lot of people. But don't go up and ask them, what makes you anxious or what really gives you anxiety, because that's not really something you should start with. Just ask them what, or don't even ask them. Just if they're going to something because they want to be there for you, or because they want to support you in whatever you do, just they will warn you that, hey, I might have an anxiety attack because this gives me anxiety. And then you and your friend have to decide, okay, then do you really want to go, or do you want to do something else? Most of the time, they will say, I want to go because, again, they want to support you and be there for you. But if they feel like they actually, hang on a minute. Sorry guys, I had something to say. But back to what I was saying. If they tell you that they are probably going to have, they might have an anxiety attack wherever they're going, then you can either do one of two things. You can say, okay, we'll go somewhere else. We'll try something else, and we'll see what you say about it. Or if you, because and I'm not, and yes, my friend, this has happened to me, but this is how the birthday party incident started. But I am not hitting Laura for this, because honestly, I didn't think it was gonna be that bad as it actually was until I got there. But don't don't say, oh, it'll be fine. I'm sure you got nothing to worry about, because you don't know that, because what you've done maybe 1,000 times, this could be their first time doing it. So it could be scary. So my suggestion is say, okay, well, we can go somewhere else if you would like to, or you say, why don't you stay at home and I'll tell you about it, or even if they decide to stay at home but they really want to be there to support you, have mom and dad FaceTime them, if you can. Have your mom and dad FaceTime them so they can still be there virtually, so they can still be there to support you. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, aren't there pills for that? Aren't there service dogs for that? Yes, there is, but a lot of people can't really afford that, or a lot of people don't feel it's that bad. Like me personally, I'm on pills for that. I am on pills for something else, which I'm not going to get into it in this video, but because I don't feel like I need pills. Yes, I have bad anxiety, but it's not to the point where I think I need pills. If people have a way to control it, that's fine. But if they don't know how to control it, then then they probably won't go to a lot of things that they think will give them anxiety or do give them anxiety. And so if they don't want to go to something, and they tell you because they have, because they think they'll have anxiety, don't brush that off. Most of the time, people know what their body is. People know how their body works, and they know what causes it, what causes stress and anxiety for them. I had burp there. So they probably, my hair was just like all over the place there. So that's probably the case. They probably will have anxiety there, and they will have to go home, either to their own place or to their grandma's house. Or to their mom's house or their guardian's house. Whatever the case may be, everybody's different. See my handprint right there. That's my handprint. Something I decided to do one night when Laura was staying over. But if you say, come on, it might not be that bad, or you'll be with people you know, it doesn't really matter if you'll be with people you know. Like, yeah, they'll kind of be there for comfort depending on who they are, depending on how close you are to them. But in the end, it's really up to them. But in the end, if they can't control it, then it's not people that they're around. It's people that, it's a situation that is happening. If it's someone that you're very close to, and like you want them to go to and you want them to go to the Super Bowl party, or go to a club, or whatever it is, and they say no because they're worried about their anxiety, then just say, okay, no worries. We'll do something later to celebrate, because they want to be included. Like, they want to be invited, and they want to go. They just don't feel like they can mentally go. And especially if you're close to them, you can't really push them to go. Some people, they'll say okay, but in the end it'll get them in trouble, so they will just go home anyway, so there's not really a point in pushing them. And then some people will actually say no, because they don't want to get themselves in a situation. And if they're really close to you, then they will feel stressed out because they think that you won't be their friend anymore if you don't go, or they're worried that you'll be mad at them, or you're worried that you'll say something wrong. And then that's when you have the anxiety attack that you're going to have at the situation. So just remember, I guess I'm really trying to turn out this video because I've been talking for a long time. I guess what I'm really trying to say is, if somebody says, I don't want to go because I'm worried about this or this, if it's something like, who'll be there and if it's something like who will be there, then just tell them who's going to be there, and then they'll decide if they'll go or not. If it's something like anxiety or they're worried that some other condition will get in the way, then they will tell you that, and you have to respect their wishes, and celebrate something with them another day. Now I understand some events you can't really celebrate another day, like homecoming, like a homecoming dance or homecoming game or something. But do something else so that you can spend time with them for the time that they couldn't go to that situation. Like go to their house, paint their nails, do their hair, play video games, whatever you guys may want to do. Just don't really push them, because it's not going to help anything. It will actually make it really worse. It will make it worse, and it doesn't help either one of you. Because in the end, one of you will be sad, and then one of you will be sad, wondering why they're mad at you for something you can't really control, or don't know how to control yet. And then the other one will be mad because they didn't go to the thing, and they thought, and that's what most people think. They're just making up excuses. I bet there is people in the world that does that, but you can't really pick out the ones that are making excuses and aren't. You just have to respect their wishes no matter what, because you never know which ones are and which ones aren't. Don't really have it. Do really have it and don't really have it. I don't know why people would make up excuses, like say they have anxiety when they don't. But I bet there is people that does that. It's just to make fun of people who actually do, and it's not very nice. But usually the ones that don't have anxiety are the ones that are explaining on TikTok that they have anxiety, or they're saying some ridiculous stuff that's not true about anxiety. If they really had it, they would know the facts. So that is my rant for the day. That is my advice. I hope you guys have a great day. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the post notifications because I post randomly. Remember, you all perfect, just the way you are. Remember to keep smiling, and have a great day. Bye.